90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Movies Till Midnight. I'm here. I'm Andrew Cooper. I'm here with Bryce. Say hi, Bryce.
Hi.
Oh, you're not turned up yet. I'm sorry about that. That's my bad. Say hi, Bryce.
Hi.
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 Danny.
Hello.
Ella.
Hi.
How you guys doing today?
Pretty good. We're getting back from break.
Yeah.
We are.
Yeah. I
Nice
hope
to be
everyone had a
back.
good break.
Yeah, I enjoyed my break. I had a good time. I was a little sick in the beginning. Obviously, I wasn't here last week. I think.
You gave up on us.
I'm sorry.
Came back to life.
But I'm here. I've been resurrected. Had a wonderful Thanksgiving with my family. I hope everybody did as well. I hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. How was your guys' Thanksgiving? You guys had a good time?
It was really fun. I enjoyed it.
Wonderful. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, spent it watching movies.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, we all watched a lot of movies over break.
So many movies, I feel
In
like.
fact, that's the topic of today's episode. Is
Yeah.
we watched a lot of movies.
And we're going to talk about them.
Yes.
Yeah. I wanted to first actually talk about what is it called Charlie Brown Thanksgiving Special, because I feel like we're at like a weird time where like we couldn't really, like, we were in the middle of Thanksgiving, you know what I mean? So like we couldn't really talk about it. But I did want to discuss a little bit because it is a movie and it's a cute little thing. You know what I mean? It's a cute little film.
My favorite part is when Snoopy feeds his friend Woodstock, who's a bird, a turkey.
Wow.
Yeah, that part's, I forgot about that part. That's a little weird.
Cancel Snoopy?
But
Cancel
cancel Snoopy.
Bones and all.
That's what, birds and all. So it's really interesting because there was my favorite part for me was always the moment where Snoopy's throwing out the plates. You know what I mean? Where he's throwing out the plates
With
and
his
then
perfect aim.
with this perfect aim, and then he tosses the food out, and it's like perfectly on the plate.
Mm-hmm.
It's always been funny to me. Oh, when he boxes the chair. So it's like, you remember that part where he
Yeah.
boxes that little lawn
I
chair?
have a feeling, I don't know why, but I feel like that may have possibly given me nightmares as a kid for some reason. And I don't know why that is, but for some reason I feel like I have
agree.
Deep emotional trauma from that.
I don't know where it came from, but I'm totally picking that up for some reason. I also feel like like that was weird. Like the chair, the animation was like he was like I was a little afraid of that guy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I've never heard that before.
It was kind of funny because it's like it reminds me of Creed a little bit. I was just for some reason I mentioned it. And I was like, oh, Creed 3 is the Creed 3 trailer
Segue.
dropped
Creed
recently.
3 is coming out.
And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that's what I thought of when I saw that. And I was like, oh, okay.
I guess I get it because, like, you know, like Snoopy Halloween when he's like the aviator? That
Yeah.
scared
One
me.
flying.
That
Yeah,
scared me.
where he's like running through the trenches.
Stop. I was
Where
so
he's like-
scared.
Oh, that was
Snoopy.
creepy.
We have like
The Halloween
channeled like
episode.
Snoopy trauma. Like, I don't know.
Trauma.
Yeah, I totally see where you're coming from there. They were interesting. There's also a lot of people don't realize this because all right. So if you're watching the Charlie Brown Thanksgiving Special on Apple Plus TV, you will notice that they don't have. It's only 30 minutes, and they don't have a second episode that is actually on the DVD version,
Yep.
which is actually from another like limited series
it's-
special, I guess.
Of Charlie Brown and his friends like going back in time and being a part of historical events.
Yeah.
And the one that was on the Thanksgiving DVD was where they were on the Mayflower and trying not to die of starvation
Yeah,
during
like-
the
and,
first
like,
Thanksgiving.
Weird sicknesses and things.
Yeah.
It was
Including
interesting.
My all-time favorite line, Linus, do you think we're going to die? Spoken by Charlie Brown.
Yeah, he does say that. Well, I didn't have a chance to see that one because I only got to watch the Apple Plus,
Oh, boy.
the Apple TV Plus episode. That was really fun. It's cute. It's interesting how they go back in time. It's weird. Like I don't understand like what they were trying to do there because
the
they were the
context of
same
them lost.
characters. It's not even like they were. I don't know. It was
Yeah, it wasn't like they were
Very
like going
strange.
back in time. It was just them in other points in time.
Right.
Being the same character.
Yeah, exactly. It was very interesting to watch.
Unless the rest of like the miniseries or show or whatever it was has other context that I
Yeah,
have
maybe
never
we
been
missed.
able to watch.
Yeah,
But
maybe we missed like the magic school bus time travel. I don't even know. There's some interesting stuff around the menu right now, which debuted on November 18th this past week. That opening weekend grossed a whopping $15.2 million. which marks the biggest weekend for Searchlight Pictures. And for those of you who don't know, that actually marks the biggest weekend for Searchlight Pictures since Slumdog Millionaire, which came out in 2008. Other notable films include The Shape of Water, Jojo Rabbit, The Grand Budapest Hotel, more recently Nightmare Alley and See How They Run. These are, to me, they're like more like these artistic kind of pictures. It seems like that they're
been
producing, right?
Yeah.
Best Pictures.
So I could see how maybe they're not bringing in heavy blockbuster level stuff, you know what I mean? So it makes sense to me, at least. We're going to talk about more of the menu in a little bit. Next thing I want to bring up, because segues are hard, I'm just going to go right into it.
That's the tagline for the show. Movies till midnight.
Segues are hard. That's right. I wanted to talk about I don't know how to say his name correctly. I'm so sorry if I'm going to butcher this. Simu Lee.
He plays
Simu
Shang-Chi.
Liu. He plays Shang-Chi. You might have seen him in
I
the Marvel
apologize.
movies.
I apologize.
We
We're
all
gonna
said
get
different
names wrong a
things.
lot today. I
Yeah,
feel like.
we are messing those up a little bit, but that's okay. So Simu Lee has actually chirped back at. He sent a tweet and he chirped back. Pun. He tweeted out. So sorry, Danny. He tweeted out. Or he tweeted back at the longtime Marvel haters, Martin Scorsese, and recent antagonizer Quentin Tarantino. They're both claiming they dislike Marvel and what it is doing to Hollywood. As we know, Scorsese frequently has said that it's not cinema, right? He's saying that Marvel's not cinema. It's not real, I guess, is what he's. I don't know what he's trying to.
We could go back and forth on
we could,
that.
we
on
could
that
have a whole
topic.
debate over that.
Yeah.
But Tarantino's basically saying that part of the Marvelization of Hollywood is you have all these actors who have become famous playing these characters, but they're not movie stars, right? Captain America is the star, or Thor is the star. So that's a direct quote from Tarantino. So what he's basically saying is that people are going to see Iron Man. They're going to see Captain America. They're not going to see RDJ. They're not going to see Chris Evans.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, in the case, I guess, of our friend Simu, they're going for Shang-Chi and his world, and they're not going for him. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Which,
I mean, in some ways, like, I mean, it did make
guess.
RDJ one of, like, the biggest, and, you know, Chris Evans, Hemsworth, you know, all
made
of them,
them
like, the
huge.
biggest, like, names in the movie.
right, they're
in
household
the
names
acting
because
world.
of these movies, right?
Mhm.
So I don't know if I would. I don't disagree with Tarantino. I see the point that he's making there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get the point he's making. I understand and I agree with what he's saying, but at the same time, like, never.
What I want to know is what makes him, like, I know he says it's not real cinema, but I never knew what makes him say that, though. What is he?
So I think what it comes down to is, and I was trying to say this quickly, but I was having trouble earlier. So I think what he means to say is that because of the idea, like, you've seen some pictures of how, like, in stills of how they're, like, behind the scenes of how they're shot. They're in front of all these green screen. You know what I mean? They're these high budget films that are being produced, like, at rapid pace. You know what I mean?
But see, the thing is, it's like, what does he expect? Because you understand, they're dealing with superpowers, which are not real, and like extraterrestrial creatures that are not real. Of course, they're going to use CGI.
Practical
of
effects.
course, they need to use.
Right.
They need to do, like.
What makes
does
it different from, like, does he not consider, like, Alien or like the Predator movies?
I feel like what his at least my interpretation of what he's saying. This could be completely wrong, Martin. I apologize if you're listening. He's not listening. I feel like what his point is it's like, you know, for the most part, just looking at his movies, they're all like they all at their core have a point. Right, Wolf of Wall Street is like, you know, money corrupts, power corrupts, blah blah. Not The Godfather. Goodfellas is like very different. Not really that different. Goodfellas is like, you know, life in the mob. You know, kind of sucks. Yeah. And then you look at Marvel movies where it's basically like, haha, look, big dumb CGI crash into each other, boom bang, go watch the next one. You know, and it's like, what's really the point? Like, you're going in and then it's like going in one ear and out the other one. Like, unless you're like a diehard fan, you're not gonna like really,
Yeah.
be able to distinguish one from another. I think that just comes with the oversaturation of the market with, both Marvel and DC are churning out things left and right. I think that's. I think
we'll
that's
have
what he
more of a
meant
talk
by
on this
that.
one because we're actually going to talk a little bit about Black Panther later. So
Yeah.
we're actually going to talk about this. We kind of got a little off topic here. I wanted to say what Simu responded with. He said, if the only gatekeepers to movie stardom came from Tarantino and Scorsese, I would never have the opportunity to lead a $400 million plus movie. He tweeted, I am in awe of their filmmaking genius. They are transcendent auteurs, but they don't get to point their nose at me or anyone. Liu continued, no movie studio is or ever will be perfect, but I'm proud to work with one that has made sustained efforts to improve diversity on screen by creating heroes that empower and inspire people of all communities everywhere. I love the Golden Age too, he said, but it was white as, and I'm not going to finish the sentence here. I think
I
we
feel
can
like
all
that
kind of imagine
that
what
is
he was saying.
kind of true though,
Mhm.
because like
Yeah, I agree.
studios have been like fighting for people to like put more diversity into their movies, especially Marvel, and now they're like doing it, creating tons more like diverse superheroes. So
Mhm.
it's kind of like doing better than the film industry right now. I feel like it's kind of like, I don't know. I feel like I don't know where to go.
I think
with that.
I think I see what you're saying though. Yeah, it's good, and they've made lots of progress in terms of like what Hollywood is. You know what I mean? And coming, like he said, from that golden age and everything. But I mean, at the same time, I feel like I also I understand more of what. Like that's not what I don't think that's what Scorsese and Tarantino were saying though.
no.
Yeah, I don't
Like,
think
I don't
they're
know where- I feel
don't
like-
have diversity.
Yeah.
I don't
Right,
think
like
that's
he
the point.
wasn't. You know what I mean? Like he was. I don't know if they were getting at that per se. It was more of the idea of what Marvel movies are doing to Hollywood in general, not
Yeah,
not where it's
yeah.
become. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I don't think that's what they
Which
were
I
trying to
do
say at
kind
all.
of. I do agree. I feel like we've talked about this in like every episode so far. One of, like just a new development in this Twitter feud just keeps developing.
Yeah. Well, Danny, you want to transition to the next thing? This is about Martin Scorsese
Sure.
as well. I believe.
Yes, Garten Go Crazy, as I like to call him myself personally. Apparently, this is something I had not heard of until actually I looked at the doc and we did some more research on it. Martin Scorsese acknowledged the fake internet-invented movie
Yes.
Goncharov, I'm not sure. It's something Russian, I
think
guess.
Goncharov.
Yeah, and said, quote, yes, I made that film years ago. Now, this is something that is basically a meme. There was, I guess, it looks like the original picture is like a shoe of some kind that, or some kind of article. I think it's a shoe or a hat or something. I think it's a show. That says Martin Scorsese presents, Goncharov. It has a bunch of different, licensing stuff underneath it. And basically, it's a non-existent movie that the internet has just kind of embraced as like this forgotten Scorsese movie, and he's acknowledging it, and that's just kind of funny.
Yeah, it's a little funny. I thought it would be kind of funny to bring it up.
Yeah.
Scorsese's in reality gearing up for the release of Killers of the Flower Moon, which I'm very excited for. That's coming out sometime in 2023, starring our friend Mr. DiCaprio, alongside Mr. De Niro, Jesse Plemons,
So good.
Lily Gladstone, and a new fan, or well, I
New
guess
friend,
always a
yeah.
fan favorite, Brendan Fraser.
Brendan Fraser, delightful man.
We love him.
Delightful man.
He was
Right?
GQ Man of the Year.
Did you guys see that little video of him at the I think it was the Governor's Awards where he got a little acknowledgement, or I don't know
Yeah.
if he got an award,
He's so
and he was
wholesome.
like, and he got or people were complimenting him on his acting, and he did this little like thing where he kicked his foot, and he was like, oh, and it was
I
just
know.
so wholesome.
He
and I was
genuinely
like, oh.
seems because
So sweet.
because
What a
I
great
saw
guy.
the Whale at the Montclair Film Festival, and he was
Yeah.
there. He did a little Q&A
right.
thing with Stephen Colbert afterwards, and he genuinely just seems like a very like down to earth,
yeah.
chill guy. Like he seems like a really nice, sweet guy.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, and just honestly, like, I'm not like a huge Brendan Fraser fan, or like I wouldn't go see the movie just for him. But like that Q&A specifically, like, made me appreciate him a lot more, because
Right.
you hear things all the time where it's like, oh, this person has a feud with this person, and this
doesn't
person
get
said
into
this
that.
thing, and he's just like hanging out, and I like that. He's
I
like
think
seems like
he,
a very down to earth guy,
Yeah, he's very down to earth, and
which I like
yeah,
a lot.
It's
yeah.
good. It's nice.
Very sweet man. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Moving on to the next thing here. Ari Aster's upcoming film which I'm sure you guys have heard about. I heard about it earlier this
So
year, which
excited.
is called Disappointment Boulevard.
Ooh, wait, what happened with
The
this?
reason I
Give me a
bring
trailer.
this up is because it's just been announced that it's been cut from an original runtime of 4 hours to, and I quote, just under 3 hours.
And I would watch
You
all.
say
four.
that
Ah,
I
great.
would
Yeah,
watch
like it's
all
nothing.
4 hours.
Ari.
Right, like so it's
Buddy.
it's an hour shorter, which I'm sure that could be a good and bad.
There's
thing.
gonna be a director's cut.
Yeah,
We just know there's gonna
yeah,
be a
there will
director's
be, there
cut.
will be.
A24 is gonna release a director's
Yeah.
cut on like 4K or something.
Yeah, the film is apparently A24's most expensive project to date. According to numerous sources, the film is set to be a dark comedy. However, a lot of people are saying all sorts of things about the plot. IMDb is saying, this is another direct quote here, an intimate, decade-spanning portrait of one of the most successful entrepreneurs of all time, which is totally different from what I've seen on like Variety and Screen
Yeah,
Rant.
it's been very different. It's changed a lot.
It seems all over the place, but I'm excited. Joaquin Phoenix is in it, so I'm super pumped. Once again, sometime in 2023, hopefully soon, and hopefully I don't have too many bathroom breaks when I go to see it. Yeah.
I will definitely be planning on seeing that in theaters because I did not see Hereditary or Midsummer in theaters because
Yeah.
I had not heard of either of them, and
Mhm.
also I was like 14 when Hereditary came out.
You're probably not watching that at 14 necessarily.
But yeah,
I was scrolling through Instagram today and saw on Rap that Johnny Depp is rumored to return as Jack Sparrow. Someone had saw him on a call list sheet to go somewhere undisclosed in the UK, and they'll start filming a new Pirates of the Caribbean in February. That's crazy.
Oh.
That's crazy. I haven't seen any
I'm
of
really
the
happy.
excited.
movies,
I'm
but-
happy they're
I'm
bringing
happy.
him back. I'm not happy this series is still going.
Yeah, I kind of agree.
That's
A little
exactly
too
how
long.
it
Good
I'll-
goes.
job, Disney, for
yeah.
acknowledging that you shouldn't have fired him in the first place, but also just let the series die.
I
Yeah.
completely agree. I really love those movies. Those are kind of those were like I grew up with adventure movies and like action movies and stuff, and that's kind of how I sort of fell in love with the medium a little bit. And those movies especially, like I would always sit on my couch and I would plug them. I would actually put the DVD into a laptop. Believe it or not, those used to exist.
Oh, I
miss
remember
those.
doing
I
that.
miss
Where you
those
used to
so
slide
much.
the DVD into
Mhm.
the side of the lot. That was really cool. I missed
Those
that
were
feel
the
like-
days.
I really missed that feature a lot.
I
I'm not
feel like
gonna
they
lie.
have to keep the Pirates of the Caribbean like up because they have like the rides in Disney. Like kids
They should
today,
do-
like if I like I wouldn't show my kid like Pirates of the Caribbean. It came out a couple of years ago. Like I don't know.
Right.
I feel like they need to keep the genre
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also feel like at least the original one is like such like for our generation at least like such an integral like oh yeah Pirates of the Caribbean at least the first one. I mean obviously from there they kind of slipped in quality. I know a lot of people like
Yeah.
the first three and then not the last couple ones. But I feel like that's gonna be a kind of movie where it's like a Star Wars, like an Indiana Jones, that kind of thing, where it just becomes part of like the cultural DNA, if you will, of like our our generation. So I don't think Pirates is going anywhere.
Yeah. I agree. I think they could do something like I feel like they could definitely do something like how do I put it? Like branch out from the Jack Sparrow world a little
Yeah,
bit.
it's pirates.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Pirates of the Caribbean, not Jack Sparrow.
Jack Sparrow, yeah.
Right.
Steals the ship again.
Mhm.
Maybe he'll like hand the crown down to somebody.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I remember there were rumors of I think Margot Robbie taking over. Like
Ooh.
That'd be
sometime.
so
I think that was
good.
last year though when
I didn't
they
hear about
kind of let him go because of the Amber Heard
Imagine
thing. But now
Anya
that we have
Taylor
the
Joy as a pirate.
Anya Taylor-Joy as a pirate.
Oh my god.
She's been in every other movie.
I just saw the
why
menu
not?
and I love her.
She'd
I
be
know
so good.
she is very good in the
Anya,
menu.
please listen to my show.
Anya, we will send you the link. It'll be fine.
Yeah. Do I want to move on or do you?
Oh no, I just want to say I could be very wrong about this, but I feel like part of the reason why they're making that new Pirates of the Caribbean movie is to like prove the people wrong that said that he was never gonna play Pirates of the Caribbean again.
Oh, they're flexing. They're just trying to like. They're just trying to laugh.
I
at
could be
everyone.
I could be very wrong, but I feel like this is like a movie that's basically just telling all the haters like I told you so.
They're like, yeah, they're like, you didn't think we would, but guess what? We're doing it.
oh
Yeah,
we
they
won't
so
we
will.
won't make another
Yeah,
Pirates
yeah.
of the Caribbean movie.
That would be
Yeah,
fun.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Moving on. This is something that our listeners can try at home, and I urge you to because
Yeah.
when
Well, I'm
I
gonna
found
double
out
check
about
and
this,
make sure
this
it's
is-
still working.
Yeah, make sure it's still work before I spread this false information.
Oh, they fixed it.
no!
Dang it.
This was so interesting to me. So basically, we looked this up. Literally, it must have been a couple hours, like literally an hour ago.
Yeah, like an hour or two. Yeah.
So if you typed in Jim Carrey on Google, there was some kind of weird glitch where it was mistaking, I'm sorry, if you typed in Paul Giamatti, who is an actor, I think he was in like the Billions TV. That's
He
kind
was
of
in
what
The
he's
Amazing
known for.
Spider-Man 2.
He was in The Amazing Spider-Man 2. There you go. But
worst
if you
scene,
typed
but
in
yeah.
Paul Giamatti, Jim Carrey's face and information would come up instead of Paul's. And then they would push Paul's down to like another level. Like you'd have to do a little bit more digging. It was kind of interesting for some reason. I don't know if they were like joking. I guess there's possible it was like some kind of like some kind of glitch that Google was doing to kind of play with us because they were both in
Man on the Moon.
Man on the
Yeah.
Moon together. So maybe they were just kind of
Where kind
Google
of
was just
not
playing
really a
with us.
spoiler. Where there are parts of Man on the Moon where they play the same because they're both actors. They
Yeah.
play the same character, and that's like there's a whole
Okay,
thing
yeah.
of like who's playing it at this
Okay, yeah,
certain
yeah.
time, and then like the character would be there, and then Giamatti would walk in, and then he'd walk out, and then Jim Carrey walks in, and it's
Right.
like who's actually
so
under
Google
the
was
makeup
just
there. Yeah.
having a good time with us, I guess. Yeah, something like that. I
Quad-
watched all
There's 4, right?
all
Quadri-
4 movies. Yeah, so there's 4, but there's part 1 and
Quadrilogy.
part 2.
Okay.
I don't know if they kind of go to quadrilogy. That's an interesting
That's
way
a-
of phrasing. But yeah, I watched those. I really liked the first one. I thought it really
Now,
was
had
like
you
it was an
seen any of these
awakening
before, or
moment
was this
for
your
me.
first time watching?
This is
all
my
of them?
very first
Wow.
time.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, you know what? I saw it on Amazon Prime. I was like, it's time. It's high time that I tuned in and finally got around to the Hunger Games. Haven't read the books. It was less 2012 teen drama than I thought, but it still was present. But it was
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
actually a good movie, the first one.
Because this was the first one of that like 2012 teen young
Yeah, it
adult
was like that
thing.
era-
Yeah.
it was like
and
that
then
era.
it turned into a parody of itself, and you got like Divergent. And,
Yeah, and the
you know,
Maze
Yeah.
Runner and
the
everything.
Maze Runner.
But
yeah.
I think it was still pretty good. And then we got to the second one, and it was I thought Catching Fire was still really good. Still carrying on with the energy of the last one. This one, I said on my letterbox, I said The Hunger Games: Saving Private Everdeen, because it was all about just
Yeah.
rescuing Katniss
Good
from
point.
and saving her and everything like that. Sorry for the spoilers, but it's like a million.
These
years old,
movies
so-
have been out for like 8
Yeah, I'm
years
sure
now.
everybody's seen them except for me. But so yeah, like it was okay, good. We're still going strong here, right? That's where my thought process is. Remember, I was watching these literally back to back because I'm on my couch suffering from sickness, COVID-19, what have you. I'm coughing and I'm sniffling and I'm watching these movies back to back. So I was just going. I was just moving through it. The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1 is where it lost me officially because then
I have
was
a funny
like,
Mockingjay
No,
story actually.
I remember seeing these in theaters as a young kid, and they're so graphic. I
The
just don't
first
know. I
one-
feel
the
like
first
they were
one
good.
is The first one is very graphic in like the
Yeah.
way because like it's the way it's filmed where it's like you got the shaky cam and like the like
And it was
this is like
intense,
real
yeah.
coverage of like a real thing that's happening, and then they kind of got into like the generic like someone gets hit and boom, now they're on the ground and that's just it
Isn't
kind of thing.
Right.
It
Isn't
kind
the
of fell apart.
second one when they bomb all like the kids?
I don't remember.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's actually in the Mockingjay Part 2.
Part 2.
And when that happened, I was like, what?
Yeah, I forgot about that.
I was like,
scene.
what?
Oh my
With the
God.
bleep?
Yeah.
What's going on?
I was too young to see that.
I have a funny Mockingjay Part 1 story. So I
Sure.
was went with a friend for his birthday to see that. And this was I hadn't seen the first two. I hadn't read any of the books. So this was my first Hunger Games movie. I don't know why I went to see this, but for some reason that part at the end, this isn't a spoiler. The movie's been out for like 10 years. Where like who is
We're
it?
past it, just say it, yeah.
What's his? I'm trying to remember his name. Who's the main guy? PETA, right?
PETA.
That's his
PETA.
name, right? The
It's
part
like
where
Peter, but with
where they
no
where
arm.
they think he's like the good guy, and then he like snaps.
Yeah.
That freaked me out
Yeah.
so much for like a week straight,
was
and I
kinda funny to
don't
me,
know
honestly.
why.
So, like,
I laughed.
Yeah.
I was like 10 when it came out, so
Right.
it like freaked me out then. But like, yeah, looking back on it, probably
I said,
is kind of funny.
yeah,
honestly.
for Part 1, I called it Disney's Finding PETA.
Yeah.
Because that was just like, it was all about
Yeah.
PETA. I love how like like that movie, they mentioned PETA probably more than that was like the most used word in the
I'm
whole
gonna look up how many
movie.
times they say it.
So many times. It's just like it's the PETA. But what about PETA? It's everybody's concerned about PETA, but he's not even there. And it's like it was also very. I thought that movie Part 1 was very slow
Yeah.
because they tried to stretch it into 2 movies, which I kind of understand. But like it was so slow and boring. And then Mockingjay Part 2, I was upset because she never wore the red suit like was in the pictures and all the posters and stuff, and I was kind of sad. I guess it was some kind of symbolic thing, but kind of underwhelming end to the trilogy there, where she sort of is just back at that at District 12, and
Starts
then
the
she
same way. It
and then
ends.
she marries and has children with
Yeah.
PETA, who is now who's now back to being good.
I don't
Oh, I
know.
got
don't
so freaked
know.
out for a second because I forgot they weren't related. I was like, what? I was like, I forgot about this.
It was
That freaked me out for a second.
interesting movies to say the least. But I think
Iconic for
they're
our
iconic. They were
generation kinda
good.
grew
They
up
were
with them.
interesting ending to the trilogy.
Series, yeah. Whatever you wanna-
Series, yeah, whatever you want to.
Yeah.
They're making the new one
Call it.
eventually, like next year,
Oh,
2 years from
Lord.
now.
Oh, yeah, I
whatever.
was saying that. It was
Well,
like a
yeah,
I
prequel.
just watched it. Yikes. I'm not gonna maybe not watch that. I don't know. We'll see.
I was the last person out of everybody to see Black Panther, so finally we can talk
Yeah.
about it.
Yes.
Now,
Look at
we've
that.
touched on it a little bit, but now we can go into
Wakanda
some more
forever.
in-depth things.
And I'm not gonna lie. I don't think we're gonna hold back. Let's spoil
Yeah.
it because it's been 2 weeks.
Yeah,
and
it's
that's
been
the rule.
2 weeks.
Everybody
Yeah.
knows.
Sorry,
Hey,
guys.
if you're listening right now,
Yeah,
you
come,
can
come
mute
back in
it.
5 minutes.
Come
if
back
you
in
don't
5
want to.
minutes.
Yeah, set your look at the clock. If it gets to be 11:40,
Yep.
come back if
That's
you don't
right.
want to hear about Black
Should
Panther.
we
We're
Okay.
all
spoiling
give
it.
like our star number like out of 5 for it?
Oh,
so we
yeah, that's
all
a
can
good
like
idea.
see where we are on grounds.
Out of 5,
Sure.
4.
let me see. I actually saw it like
Mine
right
was
when it came
four
out.
and
So
a
I have to
half.
go back here.
Mine's also 4.5.
I'm so
Waiting
sorry.
on you, Andrew.
I'm
You have it
really
memorized?
trying to look for where it was. I've seen.
Andrew.
Wait, where's my review? I actually cannot find it in my little.
Andrew, what star rating would you give Black
I'm gonna
Panther?
just take a guess and say what I put. I think I put 4 out of 5. I think I gave it a 4 out of 5. I'm not too, but like, let's go with that. Somebody want to talk now? While I look this up.
Yeah, Ella,
I
you're the last
thought,
one.
like-
What do you think?
Let me read what I wrote. I like don't even know. I've watched
Yeah.
so many movies. So I think it's one of the better Phase 4 films that came out this year,
Yeah.
and like the visuals
close.
were so beautiful during like the funeral. Like I think for me, like the
Agree.
part that got me was like when it started off, just frantic, like he was dying, and then the funeral. That was so pretty, like in the woods.
They
and
didn't
then,
hold. I kind of honestly thought they were just gonna start it with like he already was dead, like off screen somewhere, and it's like you
I
have
think
to
they did
deal
it
with
so
this now.
perfect.
But I don't know if I'm. I like the fact that they opened with it literally like being him dying. Which okay, wait, that's not a spoiler.
No,
The
I mean
actor's
everyone,
not
yeah.
alive anymore. That's not a
So,
spoiler.
I feel
Yeah,
like,
he's not in it.
Yeah, wait a minute.
Sorry.
I was about
and
to
like
say
the
spoiler
whole
warning.
scene
but-
in Wakanda,
We gave the spoiler warning in the beginning.
yeah.
Yeah.
that was
It was.
pretty.
I thought this was. I like how after No Way Home, I guess maybe there was like a click. They were like, let's get more cinematic because these characters are a little bit more nuanced now. They've been through some stuff after the Thanos snap. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah, you had this one looked. Yeah, just from like a cinematography perspective too. Like this one looked.
it was good.
Yeah, I liked the
know,
way the
like, really
director,
Yeah,
like
Ryan
how
Coogler.
sometimes
Coogler.
he would do handheld and sometimes it would be still, and like the way, like
was
when he
good
would do the
contrast.
handheld, it
He
like
balanced it
put
nice.
me in there. It was really
Yeah,
good.
more so than
Unlike the Hunger
probably
Games.
any other Phase 4 thing. Probably other than Spider-Man, this seems like it was made genuinely as like a let's make a good movie rather than let's make the next piece in the Marvel machine kind of
Yeah.
thing. Like,
They
it
s-
actually took its time with its story and not just like, okay, boom, this character's a thing now. Boom, 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 boom. Okay,
Well,
have fun.
I
the
slightly
most part.
disagree because there was I don't know what her name was. I forget.
Ironheart.
Ironheart.
Yeah,
She was
that,
so
What a
good, though.
what a weird waste of a
don't-
character. in
Yeah.
my
No, but
opinion.
like there's
started off
Dang.
really
Why'd you
strong.
introduce it at that
Yes.
point?
Started
I
off
did not
really
like that.
strong, and I was
I-
really disappointed by the end with that character.
Yeah, like it was so underdeveloped, that character.
I
Maybe they're
don't
gonna
know.
like that's where that's what they were doing. That's where the setup was. Like
Yeah,
that,
'cause
they're
Yeah, they were
setting
definitely
up.
setting
Yeah.
up the Junior Avengers.
Yeah, that's what
again.
they
Here's the other thing: is
But I
they
think
already
the-
announced her show. She's getting her own show
Yeah.
already.
But I feel like
That's
the
already
suit,
on
the
the
release
suit
calendar.
reveal was
Ugh.
so cool.
Before Black Panther came out, before we even got a trailer, that was on the
Yeah.
release calendar, I believe.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, which
I
is
thought
kind of
the suit reveal was cool.
The suit
where,
did
It was
where they're like,
cool.
does
I
that
did
thing
like to see
fly?
it.
I was like, oh, what is it? And then she like popped
Yeah.
in the suit. I was like, oh my god! Like,
this is
Yeah,
this
that
is
was
what I forget if I said this on air or somewhere else, but I don't like how like they made a big deal. Like it's a big deal in the original Iron Man that Tony Stark is able to like build this suit and from basically
That's
nothing.
also- that's what
and
I was gonna say,
he's like
yeah.
the only person that does it, and now it seems like basically
Anyone
anybody
can
is able
do
to
it.
do it. Like you had
I don't
Mysterio
know.
in Far From Home had the the glasses and everything, and now
Wasn't he from
Ironheart's
the
able to
future?
build an Iron Man suit
What?
kind of thing.
What?
Like it's just like
Sugar? No.
it makes Iron Man and his accomplishments less.
wait, what
like,
did you ask?
Yeah.
You know, like that's his shtick. Like if anyone else can do it, then why do we care about Iron Man?
Well, they did it. They explained that
Yeah.
in the whole thing, which because he sacrificed himself, and that's the difference between like anyone else who builds a suit, like, and they were showing
Yeah,
that
it's
throughout the
just right,
series. With the second and third one, all the villains that he was fighting, them building suits and everything. The difference is that he is sacrificing himself for literally
Yes,
for
that's true,
humanity
yeah.
by saving the day. At the
I feel like
end
she
there.
did have an Iron Man moment when she went up into the sky and like shot down the thing that was tracking them.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
kind of like, her going up.
That's true.
Yeah,
I
fair
think the introduction of the character was a little bit forced to me, and that's the only reason. And like it was just
Yeah.
it was just too weird, like that aspect. I loved Namor. I loved him as a
He
villain.
was great,
I thought he was
yeah.
really good.
Mm.
Killmonger
Speaking of which,
was. Wait, guess what?
Oh, that
I
got me.
predicted it.
You did. I was like,
yeah, that's
was
why
so
I
excited.
said I couldn't confirm or deny. But yeah, that was the one of the 2 cameos that I said was good.
Yeah, I predicted it, and I thought it was very tasteful. I liked it.
yeah.
I thought they did a good
I
job
like
with that.
I
didn't
love
even know what to
Killmonger too. I love
expect.
that return.
I literally looked at my sister and was like, "Are you kidding me
Yeah.
right now?" I was
See,
like, "This can't
that's
be
what I
real."
said. Like, why did no one else see this coming other than me and I guess Andrew too? But like,
Yeah,
I didn't think
predicted
that they would do that.
like as
though.
soon
I
as
knew
they
it was
got
hap-
into the
and I knew he was gonna come into
Yeah.
in that
I didn't-
little like.
yeah, as soon as they cut to like that era, I was like,
Yeah.
okay, so they just killed the mom.
I was afraid because I thought maybe T'Challa.
But they said that, but see, I
Yeah,
knew it wasn't
yeah.
gonna be him because obviously Chadwick's dead, and they said they weren't gonna recast him or do like the weird deep fake CGI thing to
Thank
bring him
God.
back. Which yeah, I know.
Do you
right?
think like, because you know that the girl from Seinfeld, I forget her name in the show.
Julia
series.
Louis-Dreyfus?
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know her name in the series, but like
Me
she's
neither.
like collecting like the evil Avengers. Do you
Yeah.
think
That was the
she's
cameo I
gonna
said
become
wasn't
an
good.
evil Avenger?
Who?
The sister. I don't know though because
What's
she
it-
was
the one
saying
that
how
hung out
she,
with
like,
Bilbo Baggins the whole time.
Oh,
I don't remember the
yeah,
character's
she was,
name.
like,
but,
the purple-
yeah,
she was in
Julia.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier, so she has like
yeah, she's
the
Black
evil
Widow.
apparently, I think she's gonna be the leader, right? Of the
evil Avengers.
no,
but do you think
no,
the
no,
sister?
she might be the leader of the Thunderbolts.
Do
or,
you know how like
whatever.
no, but
Is
do
she?
you know how Suicide Squad is like villains that are portrayed as heroes? I think that's just what that squad is.
Yeah, that's what it's
Really?
gonna be. 100%.
Well, I don't know because she has
But
the
but she's more
evil.
evil. Like it's not like the Suicide Squad where like they're captured and they're
Yeah.
forced to now do like. They're forced to now work for the government. That's weird.
Yeah.
They're like actively being like, oh, we're trying to
Recruited,
build
yeah.
this team, and maybe it's not even like evil because she still works for the
Yeah.
FBI.
I don't
So
know.
maybe
I'm
she's like
very
maybe she's like
confused
trying to.
by what her deal
she
is.
has like evil Captain America and like like the sister. What's her name?
She's just
Yeah,
trying to build
there's-
I think it's
there's,
just the fake
um,
Avengers.
Yeah, you've got Florence Pugh. You've got
Well, no. What's the sister's
um,
name in Black
you'll-
Panther?
Shuri.
Shuri. Isn't she? She saw like the bad guy in her dream world or whatever. Do you
Dude,
think
I
she
don't
would
know.
become bad?
See, this
No.
is
I don't
know,
what
she
this
wants
is what my
revenge,
problem
They
is.
explain it at the end when she didn't kill Neymar.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
why she
Here's-
was good. So
Here's
she's
what-
good.
This is
She's
something
the
that
new
I
guy.
have
I
a
don't know.
big
She has it in her
problem
mind.
with
I don't know.
Marvel is they've announced that their big thing for phases 4 through 6 is the multiverse. Right,
Yeah.
it's the multiverse saga.
The Kang
The
Dynasty.
Kang Dynasty. You've
Oh,
got
I'm so
Ant-Man
excited.
and the Wasp.
Dun-dun.
Quantumania is like in
Quantumania?
February or March or
Oh,
something like
it's
that.
gonna
That's
be-
coming
I love
up soon.
Paul Rudd.
That's coming up soon. Bill
So
Murray's in that too,
Yeah.
apparently.
That's
Oh,
the
for
best
some reason.
trailer.
Um,
Like, it's so good.
You know, but like then you've got all these little random side plots that have like nothing to do with that.
Right.
Like I think of all of the projects that have come out in Phase 4, WandaVision hinted at it, but then it turned out not to be.
Yeah.
And then Loki was about it. And then Spider-Man was, but that was also kind of its own self-contained thing. And then Multiverse of Madness,
Right.
right? Moon Knight had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, Moon Knight was all
She-Hulk had
off.
nothing to do with it. Shang-Chi had nothing to do with it. Eternals has been
She-Hulk.
kind of
Eternals
completely
kind
retconned,
of.
maybe, question mark? Because none of
Because,
that
like-
has been brought up ever again.
Didn't they have like the Watcher? Not the Watcher. Whoever.
What
was-
if? Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, that I love the Watcher.
I like
that was
What
really
If.
good. That was
What
fun.
If was good.
What if was
Who
fun?
was? Yeah, like there was just
Fun
the
character.
ending, the end credit scene of Eternals, where they like stop time. Do you
Oh
remember
yeah.
that? And like the person like grabbed like
Eternals was
the
bad.
Isn't in
I
Eternals,
love
isn't there like the
Eternals.
giant like
not like-
celestials sticking out of the
Yeah.
ocean? Why hasn't that been brought up? That seems like it would be a pretty
I
big
feel
thing
like
to bring
All
that's-
right, wait. I'm sorry. I gotta stop us for a
Yeah,
second.
we-
We're
yeah,
getting
yeah.
too
We're
off.
going
We're getting
too
too
far.
Marvel
Yeah,
in depth.
we're
and
gonna
I-
do.
I
We're
just
doing a
want to
full
talk
episode on that. at some
Yeah, we're
point,
gonna do it.
yeah.
Well, we could talk a little bit more about Marvel if you want.
Yeah,
The
no.
next topic. I didn't realize.
Yeah,
that.
next topic, kind of based on that. I watched the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special.
Mm-hmm.
It was all right.
Mid.
There's really not that much to talk about. It's just a cute 45-minute thing. It's
fun.
basically one joke stretched out over 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Watch
Which
it
is-
if you
yeah.
have 45 minutes.
Is it by
Enjoy.
James Gunn? Did
It
he
is
do
by
it?
James
Yeah, he
Gunn.
did.
Yeah, it's the same cast, crew, everyone behind it. It's
Yeah.
just it's just there. I don't know.
It exists.
Yeah. There's really
I
not that much to
started
say
it.
about
I
it,
watched
yeah.
like the first 10 minutes and then I went off and did something else. So
yeah.
that might show you like that might tell you a little bit about the
Yeah.
opening of the
It
film.
didn't.
At least,
I
but
did not laugh. I don't
it's-
think. I exhaled
exhale
out of
your
my
nose. That's right.
a few times, several times. I would actually
Yeah.
say a lot of times, but I did not laugh at anything.
It's
I
one of
don't
those like you're watching and it's a.
think. Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah. Honestly, it was fine.
I am Groot. He said the line.
he said the thing.
He said
Yeah.
the
He did the thing. He did the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was all right. It's not gonna have like any implications on the rest of the lore or anything.
Yeah.
but, yeah, it was all
Yeah.
right.
All
That's
right.
about it.
Let's talk about something else now. Let's talk about the menu.
Yeah, which this just came out, so we can't really go that in depth about it without spoilers, I guess. But
Yeah. So
to touch on it, yeah.
To
Also
touch on it a little
talking
bit.
about Marvel, X-Men. That guy was an X-Men.
what? Who?
Oh yeah,
The
Nicholas
other
Holt.
guy,
Yeah, he was Beast in X-Men.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
I forgot about that. You're right. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
I
yeah.
forgot about
Yeah,
that.
he's like
Oh.
the one good part of Dark Phoenix.
Wow. Yeah. No, I forgot about that because he wasn't blue or hairy. Well,
Yeah, I
he
know,
was.
right?
He was
Yeah.
hairy, but he wasn't blue.
He was Harry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I
the
really liked
menu
the menu.
was really really good.
I really liked
Watch
the
this
menu
movie.
a lot.
Guess who I saw in the credits? Who produced it?
Oh,
Will Ferrell
really?
Wow.
and Adam McKay, who
Really?
did Don't Look Up. So
Yeah.
so actually some.
That's fascinating.
So it's some. So actually, we have some the comedic guys jumping
Yeah.
in there.
Which, that's not surprising because like I did
satire.
like how like the dark humor aspect of it like every time like I liked how every time there was like a new meal they like, did like the zoom in with like the
yeah, I
cross
loved it.
fade against like that
Yeah,
like the
no,
dramatic
there-
music.
There was no.
Like,
this,
they did- it was
listen,
just a rip-off
no,
of the
it was
Food
fun.
Channel.
I thought
I
it
love
was
it.
like
Food
so
Network.
perfect. Guys, watch. Let me just say this. Watch this movie, okay?
That's not a call to action.
It's not a call to action.
If it's playing near, you strongly consider seeing.
You
this
should
movie.
strongly
I wanna
consider
go see
watching
because it is very fun.
I think I gave it a 4.5 out of 5.
Yeah, I did
on
also.
Letterboxd.
Yeah, I really
Um,
liked it a lot.
Am I allowed to say what I said on Letterboxd? Did you see my little?
I don't remember
review-
what it was.
Well, all right, I won't say. it. I
use
don't
your
wanna
best
spoil it.
judgment.
Yeah, I'm not
I
gonna
don't
spoil
know.
it. Speaking of meals,
Oh.
What a segue.
yeah.
Yummy.
Oh no.
Can I say what I said on my letterbox?
Yeah.
You know, this movie, Bones and All, Luca Guadagnino,
I don't
Yeah.
know.
so underrated as a director. This made I
Yeah,
don't
he's
know
really good.
how he made a movie about cannibalism feel so nostalgic. Like I wanted to like travel the world.
That's
like,
one way to.
I just like
As
and
someone who hasn't seen the movie,
know
I don't
what?
know what they're talking
Like,
about.
I also wrote on my letterbox that if Timothy Chalamet were to up and come out and say, "Yeah, I eat humans," I'd be like, "You're still hot to me." Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know about you, but
Oh no,
Yeah.
T. Chalamet.
Just looking at this guy's filmography, Call Me by Your Name and Suspiria, I've seen. I don't like either one.
well,
Oh, he was-
listen.
so-
I think this,
but-
in terms of like authorship, which is something
They're very
We'll
unique
cover it
movies.
later.
Yeah, he has a style.
he has a style
He
for sure,
definitely
which
has a style,
I think
yeah,
focuses
absolutely.
a lot on like it's raw and it's a lot of the human body.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It's like a lot of
it made me
people
sick.
Yeah.
and
definitely.
real like them. Like it's all about a lot of the exterior. There's psychological
Mm-hmm.
in there, but it's very, you know what I mean? Like he just likes to showcase that, and it's really it was. I thought Bones and All was still a good movie, but I that night I saw Bones and All and I saw the menu, like so I did a double feature. I will say I enjoyed the menu more because I like the satire of
Yeah,
it.
I
I'm
could
more
see
that's more
that.
my movie. This coming of age
yeah.
thriller,
Cannibal of Age.
It's not my. It's not really my forte.
Coming
you know what I
of
mean? That's not my
Ribcage.
kind of movie of choice.
Yeah, I don't know. I just thought, I don't know. I just like, it was cool how the director did it, where it's like, even though they were eating people, you still felt for them,
Yeah, yeah.
which
We-
should not
yeah.
be.
I don't.
okay.
I was gonna say my point, but I'm not gonna say it because I think it spoils. Let's talk about something else.
Yeah. I can zip through a couple because these ones.
Zip through
yeah.
these next 3 quick because I want
so-
to actually skip to
Yeah, and then we can get into
Bryce's
some more. Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. So the sequel to. So we've all seen A Christmas Story, right? You got the leg lamp, the BB gun. It's an iconic holiday.
It's classic
concept,
and
right?
it's cute. and
Iconic.
It's fun.
So there's a sequel. Well, there's actually two. There's a sequel that came out in like 2010 or whatever, and it's one of the worst things I've ever seen. But they just did another sequel, A Christmas Story Christmas. It is on HBO Max. It stars, I believe, all of the original child actors from the original film, which was really cool. So some of them have aged better than others, obviously, but there was a lot of fan service, a lot of pandering to the audience, but the original's a great movie, and it's one that I always love revisiting every year. So I obviously really liked it. It was funny. I thought it was also very like heartfelt and emotional. Like even though there was a lot of fan service, it didn't feel like it was just pumped out by like a soulless machine kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, I thought they did a good job with it. It's definitely worth checking out. I also watched Triangle of Sadness. That's been out for like a month, but I'm still not going to do spoilers because I'm the only one that saw it. It was pretty good. I thought the actors did a very good job. I thought the plot was pretty solid. I thought the way it was directed and shot was very nice. I will say the script did kind of go off the rails a bit at points, which, I mean, I really can't give that many spoilers. But,
I heard stuff that, like, people were leaving the theater.
Yeah, I can understand why people left the theater. There's a scene around 40 minutes into the movie, maybe, which I didn't have to, but it was kind of...
Like, look away.
Yeah,
That's
because
how
it was very gross.
I'm not gonna lie, with Bones and all, I was definitely squirming a lot.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
I was like, turn over my friends, shout out Frank and Andrew, and I was like, and my brother too was there, Tyler, and I was like, guys, are you guys
You guys okay
see
with
that
this?
too? And my friend
that
Frank,
happened
like,
with
he's
me
a
when I
sucker.
watched another Cannibalism movie, Raw, from a couple of years ago.
I heard
that's
about
a
that.
really good movie, but that's a movie where I literally couldn't finish it the first time because my stomach was not feeling great that day, and I was like, I'm not gonna make it.
This was
if
my
I keep
first.
going.
See, this is my first cannibalism movie, but my buddy's Frank, and he loves horror and all that and gore and all that stuff. So he's sitting there. He's like, yeah.
Yeah.
I
No,
like
Triangle of
this.
Sadness
And I'm
wasn't
just like,
really gory. It was just, there was one scene that was just really just gross.
Yeah.
And then the other movie that I'll zip through real quick was Till, which was the movie about the Emmett Till event from the 1950s. It was really, really well done. It's a extremely tragic story. I thought that the actors were, really phenomenal. I don't remember the lead actress's name. I apologize, but she was absolutely phenomenal. I think she should get an Oscar for it. I'm going to call it right now. I think she's going to get a nomination. I don't think she's going to win, unfortunately, but I think she did it phenomenal. I thought it was shot in a good way. Again, I said this in my Letterboxd review. I hate it when movies end with, like, over the credits, like, some random licensed pop song. Like, to try to win, like, best original song, because it just takes you out of the tone, like, just so much.
Oh, did it kind of do
yeah,
that?
like, it like, had, like, it ended, and then you had, like, this, like, typical, like, black screen with, like, the text over it, like, so-and-so lived to be, this old and did this for the rest of their life, whatever. And then that ends, then it was, like, I don't even know who the song was by, or what the song was, but it just, like, cut to a random song, and I was like, all right, cool, great. Yeah, so that was also really good. Awesome. Yeah, that's enough zipping through movies. Let's talk about another movie, Bryce.
So yesterday I watched Blonde, and I must say I give this movie a 3 out of 5. Just because, let me start off with what I liked about it.
I'm sorry.
Let me start off with what I liked about it.
Please do.
The cinematography was great.
Wrong.
I loved it so much. The acting,
Nope.
Let him
just
speak. Let him speak.
okay. Her accent takes you away from it a little bit. Yeah, very clearly. But you can tell, like,
She still has an accent.
but with the emotions and everything the emotions when the cry, like, that was great. But let me just say, the one thing I don't like is how the audience knows going into this movie that it's a fictitious version of her life.
Yeah.
For example, like, in every biopic, because you gotta understand,
so it's not based on the
It's
real
based on a
life.
fan fiction.
basically.
What?
Basically. Because with every biopic, there's obviously some moments that are made up to, like, keep the keep story in grace. But even if they didn't tell me that going in, I would have genuinely thought, oh wow, this is all real, this all happened. But it's the fact that we knew that it was fictitious going into it that took me out of it.
Yeah.
I couldn't take anything
the marketing
seriously.
for this was really weird because you had all, like, the writers, cast behind the scenes, people, director being like, yeah, it's based on this book, it's not entirely realistic. But then the way Netflix was promoting it was, it's like the true, like, behind the scenes reinventing, showing you a level of Marilyn Monroe you've never seen before. Kind of thing, and it was very misleading the way that they marketed it.
I do think they did a very good job of showing, like, the chaos of her life.
Here's
that
the
was
thing.
really well done. But the thing, why don't you like the cinematography?
Here's why I don't like it's less so the cinematography and more so the editing, to be honest. Because what this movie does is I don't
I don't think I'm gonna watch it. You could spoil it if you want to
like,
share.
I
it.
think
I can't
it was
spoil it. It's been a
really
month.
cool how I think the part of the cinematography that I liked is when they did the pictures, like her real life, like famous pictures, and they, like,
See,
I don't know. They made it
therein
look.
lies
That's
the
what I
problem.
like it.
Because
But, like,
what
I don't
what
like the
Andrew
story.
Dominic, the director, decided to do was he keeps changing between every other scene whether or not it's going to be in black and white or color. What the aspect ratio is going to be like in every other shot, it's completely different.
he, like,
So it's
very much
extremely
forced.
disorienting. And the reason he gave was so that he was trying to recreate like the iconic pictures. Like, oh, this picture was in color, so we'll have this scene in color, and it had this aspect ratio. And then this one is different, so we'll have it be shot differently. But that
That's
doesn't
kinda
just
weird.
because yeah, sure, you're recreating the iconic thing, but first of all, Ana de Armas does not look anything like Marilyn Monroe, so that completely takes you out of it. But second, it just makes it extremely disorienting to watch.
Yeah, I do agree with that, and I could be wrong, but when I was watching it, I thought that the whole reason to show like the black and white and the color was to symbolize like the most traumatic, because it was only black and white when it showed like the most traumatic events of her life, like when she goes to the orphanage, when she's having a breakdown in the mirror, when she's like it only happens when like the mental illness is kicking in. So
That's
it's
cool.
like
I will
That's cool
say,
to think, though.
yeah, I will say if you are able to somehow completely divorce this movie from like, okay, like if you took this movie and the only thing you changed was change her name from Marilyn Monroe to something else, this would be a pretty
Yeah,
great
they
movie.
definitely should have done that. They definitely should.
yeah,
Because
so
of
instead
the
of
fact that
centering
it's
around
already
Marilyn
so there's already so much that's added and changed from the original. You can even say it's inspired by the Marilyn Monroe story because of the
I
fact that
feel
it's
like
inspired by
I
the
would have
Marilyn Monroe
definitely
story.
liked it better if
Yeah.
they didn't keep saying Marilyn, because that's
Yeah.
like slandering her name.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't real.
It's making it an extremely exploitative thing of her life. My favorite part was when she talked to her unborn fetus.
that was weird.
What the heck?
You heard me.
Like the one thing I just said,
Multiple
like,
times.
this movie, I don't want to like say this word on the radio, but like it makes her look so much worse. Like
Yeah.
this really ruins. Like she already has a bad image. She's been dead for years now, and her reputation
yeah.
is already so bad.
Yeah.
This movie has made it 10 times worse.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
It really has, yeah. The good
Yeah.
thing is that it doesn't seem like most people are falling for it. Like, it doesn't seem like there's this huge thing. It's like, oh, this is exactly what her life was like. Haha, she sucks. Like, it seems like
So
most the
people are
general
just-
consensus is like, this is not Marilyn Monroe. We didn't want this.
When you see this movie, one, half part of you will feel bad for her, but two, you're gonna be disgusted by her at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Speaking of
kinda
disgust,
sad.
Yeah.
let's talk about Don't Worry, Darling for a second.
Oh,
before we
I don't know.
ends.
Yeah,
Only thing
touch
I'm
on-
gonna
touch
say,
upon
I
that
saw
one.
"Don't Worry, Darling." You know what? When the photos came out, I was like, "Oh my gosh!"
So pumped,
I love
right?
Florence Pugh. Harry Styles knew like getting
Oh my
into acting.
gosh.
Like, look at him.
Nick Kroll?
Nick Kroll. Like, oh my god!
It's a
And
bad
then I
sign when-
sat down and I watched this movie, and I'm telling you, like, they started the movie and they ended with some random different story. Like, okay, I have
So
a list of
weird.
questions. Like, why was it shaking all the time? They didn't question that. What were they even working on?
That's true. Wait, you're right. They
What
didn't
about the
actually explain
eggs?
that.
No, they did explain what they were working on. When they
It
go
was a-
out,
oh,
they
yeah.
Is that when
leave.
they leave the
That's
hub
when
or
they
whatever? Is
leave
that
the hub
what it
because they're
is?
only allowed limited
Oh,
time.
okay.
Although I will say I agree with they never
What
did
about the
explain.
shaking? What were the eggs about?
That's right. Yeah, because the
Uh,
eggs like
why-
with the weird. Empty
Also,
eggs,
when
yeah.
you're watching, like, I watched the trailer and I already knew what it was about, because
That's-
in the
yeah.
trailer it was like
It was extremely
Florence
predictable.
Pugh screaming, "This is my life. I get to choose what I want to do." Her saying, "Where did you meet him? You picked up the ticket
Mm-hmm.
at Boston, like all of us." I'm like, okay, you know what? This movie's about a girl who's trapped in this world
I
by
hate
her
to
husband.
say it, but Harry Styles can't act.
he can't
No, he
act.
can't act.
I
When he was
haven't-
in the
to be
car-
fair, to be fair, I don't remember his
car.
scene in Dunkirk, so I don't remember how good that is, and I haven't seen My Policeman.
Think
so
about this,
he might
Dunkirk-
be good in both of those.
Dunkirk was the good thing about Dunkirk was that I was actually like lost in that, so like I wasn't like
Yeah.
I wasn't like taken away by what he was saying and
I
acting.
don't
So-
really remember anything about that movie, so I definitely don't remember his part, and I haven't seen My Policeman, so I can only speak to this movie. But he cannot act. If this movie is anything to
It
go
wasn't
by.
that great. No, it was really bad actually.
I feel like
I started laughing
Florence
at him.
was like giving it her all, and everyone else around her was like
She-
level zero
yeah,
on
she was
acting.
going full
so
Midsummer mode, and
I-
then
I
everyone
thought
else
I think
was
Chris
like,
Pine was okay. Like he wasn't that. I
yeah,
think
oh my
he made some
God,
pretty
Chris
the
Pine's good.
ending.
He makes
the
a pretty
ending
convincing
when
villain.
when his wife like stabbed him, and she's like, "It's my turn now." Turn for what? What happened
That was
after
a
that?
weird movie.
Like,
It
why
was a
did
weird
she kill
Yeah.
him? There was no reason for her. Like, she had no.
I thought she wanted to stay.
Yeah,
in
she
that
was like,
world.
she
I
was
know.
like, she was
She
like,
said
Florence.
that.
She was like, Florence, why are you being mean to my husband? And then she goes and kills him. Like, where did that come from, lady?
Yeah,
Like,
it was a
he was just on the
sloppy
phone.
script.
Like, what
Yeah,
are
it
you
was
talking
it was
about?
And it's a
pretty
shame
rushed
because the movie Olivia Wilde did right before this was Booksmart, which is a really good movie. I don't know if anyone else.
I
seen
also
that, but I
maybe
really
she
liked
was
Booksmart.
maybe
movie.
for what the metaphor that they were attempting was too
It was get
like
out
she
for white
was
women.
she was trying
Get out for
get out for women. She was trying they were trying too hard to carry out this metaphor, and it just got somewhere like she went ambiguous, but like not ambiguous because it
And
was just
also, like,
so
Olivia
plot
Wilde.
driven.
Sorry, I'm like, we were running out of time.
That's
I
fine.
don't
We
know.
could-
I don't
no
know.
one's
Olivia
here.
Wilde.
Let's
keep
Like,
going. We can
I
go a
think
little
that. I think that. What's his name? Shia LaBeouf would have been so much better in Harry Styles' role, even though he was crazy. He was supposed to play that role, and I could see him going crazy in that role.
The behind the scenes
Yeah, he
drama,
actually would have been
yeah.
really good for
Yeah.
The behind the scenes drama and all the alleged feuding behind this movie, along with the fact that it debuted with like a 40% on Rotten Tomatoes and only went down from there. I know Rotten Tomatoes isn't the most trustworthy source in the world, but just the fact that early reception to it was like pretty terrible. And that was even before the audience score came out, which usually is not as good. Like, I was really expecting it to be an absolute train wreck, and I was kind of underwhelmed
Yeah.
by how like
was a train
normal
wreck.
it was. I was like, all right, that was Don't Worry, Darling.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to 90.3 WMSC
It's
Upper
true, you are.
Montclair. This is Movies Till Midnight. We're gonna close. I wanted to say more about this movie, but we're
Talk about it
we're
next,
gonna limit.
next week if
Maybe
we want
next
to.
weekend, and we're pretty passionate about
Movies.
this film. Clearly,
need
because it
2
was just
hours.
so.
I know.
We need more
Yeah,
time.
when they redo the schedule.
Foster, I know you're listening.
Foster, we love you.
We
but,
want your.
but we have the
we
second
want your
hour.
second hour of your show. I don't want to. I don't want to resort to bribing, but I might. What do you want, man?
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
give you anything you need.
Yeah, so this is Movies Till Midnight. This will be up probably on the Spotify either tonight or early tomorrow at some point.
Very soon.
On the YouTube, so that will be an option for,
If you couldn't listen tonight.
if you couldn't listen in, yeah. If you know someone that would possibly be interested in listening into our rambling
Yeah,
thoughts,
but you don't have
that's
to.
an option. Yeah, definitely not. No, just a. Yeah, I know. We really want to be careful. We're new to this.
Yeah.
We don't know how to navigate the FCC yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
All right, Movies Till Midnight. Signing off. See you guys later.